right, here we go. Police chase in Chicago.
You can see how fast this vehicle is going. It has taken it, even with traffic. We're at 127 to Troop now. It's taken about 3 minutes to get from 127 all the way from the Bishop 4, that's I-94, towards I-57 here. This is a busy
Danger Tater, welcome.
127th in Ashland here. We're by the expressway. Now we're crossing I-57, turning northbound here. Let's see if they jump on northbound I-57 towards the city here.
This is a very frightening situation, and at what point do you think there may be a shift in tactic here, Mike? I don't know. We don't know how far back.
LA, this is in Chicago. This is a chase in Chicago right now.
But you imagine a significant amount of coordination between the agencies here to try to communicate a possible path of
RZ, welcome. Contra, welcome. Chicago.
Appear to be any sort of plan.
This is the first time I've ever seen a police chase in Chicago. Winnie. We saw that one time the guy was riding a horse on the highway, but
and you've got this speed, and anytime you've got this level of speed, the slightest
different place finally. CK4, welcome.
Deadly. And it's a very frightening situation for those around them. They can't necessarily see what's coming, and this guy's definitely this person is.
What's up, Subatomics, Coco Creamer, Bendo?
There is a large curve that's
Crest
coming up
2P.
here that again is another dangerous situation where I've covered a lot of accidents. Northbound 57, when you go north of Monterey to 111th
Hometown
Street,
chase, let's go.
Curve that comes up on 107th Street. If you're driving without traffic, can be very, very dangerous. And then we're about a mile away from this either turning into the Dan Ryan, and I don't want to.
Yo, Arab Prince, thank you. Prediction, I'll get it going in a second. Yeah, let's do it. Hold on.
Go right back south on I-94 rather than heading into the city.
Thank you, Arab
They
Prince.
are still pursuing very vigorously, though, behind. We see 2 state troopers that are trailing here as safely as they can. They're basically about a quarter mile behind.
All right. It's up.
Now above on 99th Street.
Whoa.
It's going underneath 107th Street on the right shoulder. You saw that Chicago squad going eastbound. They're all communicating in what's called the ISPERN.
Is there a chase?
network.
No, Cold
They
Light,
all
this is in
communicate
Chicago.
Situations like this with each other. Look at this vehicle picking
Look
up
at this.
speed now. Northbound at 103rd, and again, I-57 on the shoulder. This is going to make a northbound turn, and if you ever drive I-57, this is the turn around Halstead. In a matter of about 10 seconds here, it's going to have to turn right and then head eastbound towards the Dan Ryan merge. They just said on the dispatch that they said there was a male inside, and again, this vehicle is wanted for armed robbery earlier in the day. They're saying there's
Is that still on the shoulder? It might be salt.
That the people inside this vehicle are armed.
Sometimes there's salt on the side of the road from dropping it when there's snow.
The people that they are approaching, they have no idea what's coming their way.
That's why the road looks like it
someone
looks.
That's moving very quickly. And how many times have you been on the expressway and had some really fast driver come up on you?
This is crazy. This must have been going on for a while for the news to get there in Chicago.
It's really a frightening moment right now just to watch.
Yeah, big ups to Chicago for picking up the slack, man.
And how police can even
New city unlocked.
You know what kind of strategies they have to use to try to be able to handle this situation, because we have seen what happens.
And yeah, it looks ashy. They got salt all over these roads in the winter.
Horribly wrong.
And in a crash. Yeah, and that's so often the case.
Turtle, what's up?
Now we're on the Dan Ryan. So now they just went north on the Dan Ryan, and as we all know, a lot more
They said they're
traffic on
armed.
the Dan Ryan. So now northbound, really again picking up that speed here. Northbound Dan Ryan, we're going to come up on 95th Street here. Now I can look ahead northbound. There is no traffic on the northbound Dan Ryan. There's the CTA red line at 95th Street. You'll see the vehicle come out on the other side of that.
Gee, he's flying.
Ryan. Now again,
He's got to be going over 90, but I don't know. I mean, it has to be, right?
Every 4 blocks here, so they can exit 87th Street, 79th Street, 74th, 71st. You get the idea. Eventually, you can head all the way north, and we don't see any traffic on the northbound Dan Ryan. All the
First
way
live
up to
Chicago
show
chase.
about
Suck it, same
where
for
the
me.
Stevenson is. So again,
We had
this
one that
is
was
another area where this
sort of
vehicle,
almost a chase one
Hyundai,
time,
is wanted
but it
for
was the
armed
police
robbery,
following this guy on
pick up a large
horse.
speed. And now we're exiting again here. Let's see. We are at 87th Street. So I believe they're exiting at 87th Street.
So you're getting into a residential area, and this is
Gabriel,
rush
what's
hour
up?
Still, and who knows?
All right,
what
is
the
there a plan
circumstances
here?
are. School is in
Of course, it's not a car
session,
chase.
so
Yeah, it was
there
not a
are
car chase.
potentially schools nearby that
But it was
could
a
be part of
police
the problem.
pursuit in a
They're
way.
on residential streets now, where you don't have you know, you have to slow down at each street to make sure that you don't run into anybody a lot of times on these side streets. So
I mean, they might be going
pedestrians making their way. Fortunately, it's cold. Maybe people, not as many people may be out walking the streets, but still, you're in a residential area, and he's still going well beyond the speed limit. Maybe not 100 miles an hour, but well beyond the speed limit.
And again, you see it right here as opposed to the expressway where you know it's open. These are residential streets.
MKRQ 64 months, that's crazy.
This could absolutely cause a collision. I believe
Thank you.
we're off of State Street or maybe a block off of this.
Whoa, he had a speed bump.
87th Street, went about a block. So
almost 69. I bet he's a Bears fan. I bet he is.
83rd Street here, northbound.
I hope
this
so.
residential street.
Go
Yeah,
Bears.
you just saw him go over a speed bump. So you're in a clear residential street dealing with speed bumps. Makes it even more frightening. I don't know. I hope people are watching, or they can alert people. And that's one of those things. There's no way for drivers and residents necessarily, unless they're watching television right now, to know.
Where is this? El Homer's in Chicago.
And other drivers as
Exactly.
well.
Is that a van? No, I think it's an
And I
SUV.
think these speed bumps are here because we're off of State Street here, and again, now the vehicle is heading eastbound, but those speed bumps.
Zachary, what's up? 3D, what's up?
For the Dan Ryan and tend to exceed the speed limit there because they think, well, I want to save time getting off the Dan Ryan. Now the vehicle heading eastbound here, and I believe we're on around 83rd Street and trying to stay with this. I'm not sure, and I was looking behind here when we're trying to figure this out. I'm trying to figure out if the state police or the people have been pursuing even know where this vehicle still is. They may have lost him because
don't the police have a
as we stay with the vehicle, which
helicopter
I
up
believe
there
is east and around 83rd Street, and they may have lost the vehicle. So if anybody's listening in, this looks like east on 83rd Street.
This is not LA. You're correct.
We're
Chicago
about
is
a
not
block or two
LA.
from Martin Luther King, which is 400 east here. Again, that vehicle bailed off the Dan Ryan, and I believe this is coming up
Lala,
on
what's up?
MLK now.
Police following. They just said
And
maybe
eastbound
they've
across
lost it.
MLK. So that was Martin Luther King here, and eastbound, I believe, again, this is 83rd Street. And again, Marion, as you were talking about, this is a residential area where speed limits are about 20 or 25 miles an hour. You've got a stop sign almost at every light here. Now the vehicle going northbound, so we're at about 600 east here, northbound.
Are they going to bail? Oh, they're pulling into a house.
And now we're parked. So the vehicle has pulled in front of a home.
Are they getting
here.
out?
We're about 2 blocks east of Martin
Haven't seen them get out yet.
Here, and we're north
Oh,
of
there they are.
83rd Street.
Going two different directions.
Looks like somebody got out of the vehicle.
Oh, wait.
What's that, Max?
They're still driving. Or no, they were parking.
Okay, so we've got one person that got out of the car that's behind.
It was
that
at
tree
least
there
two
in the
people.
center, and then one person that is still in the car.
Is there? I saw
And we
two
can just
people
see
get
what
out.
happens here,
They
but
went to
what we
opposite
don't
directions,
see, and
right?
We talked about this before because we are in the city of Chicago. We didn't see those lights that we saw all throughout the expressway. We've been very focused on the Hyundai.
There's
here
one.
That, again, was wanted for armed robbery. So the vehicle is parked here, and again, we're about 2 blocks east of Martin Luther
Maybe there
King.
is still somebody in it.
Got back.
Yeah,
in
there
the
has
car
to be.
here now, and just north
There
of
had to be,
83rd
right.
Street. And
Okay.
again, don't see any police moving in at this time. Let's see if the vehicle stays here. Or
Are they both going to get out now? Nah, they're going to keep driving,
Allison
man.
Rosati
They're still
with
going.
Stefan
Let's
Holt
go.
here. We want to thank Marion and Alex for their
Ulu
coverage.
Micah,
This
welcome.
is very surprising, especially after the high speed.
I didn't see the driver. Yeah, I was tripping there for a
traveling
second.
out
Obviously,
the
the person was still in the car because they
suspects
backed it up.
inside, that they would take time to park. Do you have
They
any
took time to park.
eye on any type of law enforcement nearby, or is this pursuit over?
So the lights that we saw flashing on the expressway, and again, if you're just joining
Everybody
us,
on
here's
YouTube,
the
hit the
vehicle
thumbs
parks
up.
Again, this one up and down 394.
Oh, he's parking
up
again.
And down the Bishop Ford Freeway. There were lights the whole
He's
time.
parking in.
Those lights
Okay.
appear to be gone.
Driver out.
Now there is a vehicle. Let me count my streets here. That's coming off of 83rd Street as this. There's 2 people inside this vehicle. Get out there on the.
Is there a cop?
There are squads that are.
Okay, there's
starting to come
cops.
west on 83rd Street. So we are. Let's see, I think we're about a block east of Martin Luther King. I do see squads, and again, we can't show you that shot here because
Now they're splitting up. One
Looks like a
person's going
Hyundai,
one
does
direction,
it?
the other's going in the
right, one
other
person's
way.
gone in different directions there.
Oh.
There
no.
are
Oh.
squads moving in. So we're
Okay.
in an apartment complex here.
Again,
This
we've
is
been
pretty
holding
wild.
our
It is a
breath
good
watching
one.
this
Something being thrown
vehicle.
over the fence too. Yeah.
He throws
And
something
now-
over the
Go
fence?
ahead.
I hope that people who are watching in that neighborhood there can find a way to stay sheltered, since we do know, as you've been reporting, Mike Lorber, that these two are armed
Soda, what's up?
and they're suspects. In an
I'm not
armed
sure.
robbery
It's been
for
very
earlier
blurry. I'm
today.
not sure what car it was. Somebody
I'm
on
gonna ask
YouTube
if
said it
you
looked
see
like a
there's
Hyundai.
squad that just went right by him right now. And he threw something on the ground. Nick, if you can hear me, our pilot has the Chicago Police Department helicopter.
Hey,
Are they
Danger
up flying
Tater over
over
on
this?
YouTube. Hit the thumbs up.
So the Chicago Police helicopter has been flying about this as well, and we've been so focused on these people that have been winded. That is important because they have the same perspective we do, which means that they, from the air, can direct the Chicago Police
He's got his
Department
phone out.
down below here to where these people are.
Is he going to get
So
picked
this
up?
is the man that we saw get out of the vehicle. Again, this was a Hyundai that was wanted for
All right, it is a
armed
Hyundai.
robbery.
Hyundai, whatever.
The
Hyundai.
Illinois State Police Network. And
There
you
they
go.
are.
There's a,
You're
there's a
busted,
squad
man.
pulling up
He's
right
still just
now.
walking like nothing's going on.
Nope.
Not even
And
going to
let's see
run?
if we have a foot
No,
chase here.
just act.
I believe we're on 83rd Street, and I believe somebody is about to be taken into custody.
That was
Walking
definitely him,
so
right?
Casually down the street, looked like they were on a cell phone, and that Illinois State Police car just
That was
rolled up
definitely
real
the driver.
fast and got out and told him to get back onto the sidewalk there. And watching another officer approach there.
I have to say, I was.
So this has come to an end.
But you got to
concerned
wonder.
because of the fact that there was an armed situation, that there might have been somewhat of resistance or a shootout. So thank God, this appears to be ending peacefully with the suspect taken into custody.
Right. I
Yeah, he's
believe
like,
we
oh,
are
what did I
on
do? What?
83rd Street and
What are
Martin
you
Luther
talking
King.
about? Super casual
83rd and King
arrest. Yeah, they
Drive.
were just like, hey, go over to this
So
car.
again, it looks like we're in custody.
And yeah,
Mike,
ZZ,
just to
you're right.
confirm, we
It did
saw
not
two
look like
people
they
get out of that
assumed this
vehicle.
guy was
This the one
armed.
gentleman
They did
who
not treat him like
turned
he
to the
was
right and came, and
dangerous.
The other person went left. Do we have any idea on what happened to that person?
He was not the driver?
We don't. And Max, I'm going to ask my camera person because Max was following as well. We saw the other person go in the other direction, eastbound. That was off of 83rd Street.
I
That's
thought
correct.
this was the driver.
Right, so just to sum all of this up very quickly, this pursuit went on for about 30 or 40 minutes. It was off of the Bishop Ford, I-94, went all the way south to Lansing near about 183rd Street, Glenwood Dyer, came back north on 394, all the way into about 127th Street, across to I-57. into
Okay,
the
so-
city, bailed off the Dan Ryan at about 83rd and went residential. Police lost the vehicles after
Usually
a
they
while.
follow the
They
driver.
parked,
The
then
LA
went
stations
north on
follow
around
the driver.
83rd Street, got out of the parked vehicle, one person inside heading westbound. That's the person that's been taken into custody. Looks like a man at this point. Another person went eastbound, and that person, we don't see any other squads eastbound, but they'll probably still look for that person there. This was a Hyundai that was wanted for armed robbery. One person is in custody here after a long pursuit at 83rd and King Drive. And again, we've talked about it over and over again. We thought there may be a collision. This vehicle several times driving dangerously over 100 miles per hour. No collision. A lot of Illinois State Police, Cook County Police, more squads are coming into the area here near 83rd and Martin Luther King Drive.
Well, nothing short of a miracle in the fact that that high rate of speed in that police pursuit, there were no collisions, and even next to a school
Finally
bus. I
a
don't know
win,
about you, but I was
congrats.
holding my breath.
Yeah,
when
I
they
would have
went
said
around
no on
the
this one
school
Too
bus.
close
for
for
sure.
comfort.
Nice job, Mike Lorber and your crew up there in Sky 5 following this pursuit and what appears to be an arrest, and we're not sure about the second person that was in that vehicle, if that person has been apprehended.
And we'll try and stay on
This
top
is
of
where
this.
they
I would
were, right?
guess
This is a
that's why
car?
we've got police heading east from here. We're going to keep an eye on that for you. We'll get back to you if we see the police moving in on that second person.
Okay, Mike Lorber and Sky 5, we appreciate the coverage of this high-speed chase through the southern, through the south side of Chicago.
That was
right
quick.
now. Mike,
Yeah, I
thank you so
figured it
much.
would be, man. That was not the type of chase that goes
And
on
this
for
is
15,
the
20
NBC
minutes.
5 News
Okay.
at 5 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Allison.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. I'm out of here. Hope if any of you are in California, I hope that you are safe. If you need to evacuate, please get out of there. Please get out. All right. If I go live again tonight, it's because there's another police chase. So come back. Make sure you're following. Make sure you have the messages, you know, the alert on, or just join the Discord. You get it way faster if you're in the Discord. Way faster. Okay.